We all know that if you want to build a seven-figure real estate company, you can't do it alone. You have to build a team if you're going to be able to get to the seven-figure level. So one of the most common questions that I receive in regards to building out a real estate team is, who should I hire first? How much should I pay them? When should I hire them? So in this video, I'm going to answer all of those questions. All right, so you want to scale your wholesaling or flipping company to seven figures, but you don't know where to start when it comes to building out your team. And that's honestly completely natural, because if you've never built a company before and you've never built a team before, how are you supposed to know how to do it? I know for me, when I was first building out my real estate company, I had no clue how to hire team members, what to pay them, how to manage them. So it's a completely natural feeling if you are looking at building out your team, but you have no clue where to start. So in this video, I really want to break down who the first person you should hire is, how much you should pay them, and when you should bring them onto your team. So if you're new to this channel, my name is James Hodges, and I'm the founder of REI Game Changers, which is a company that helps wholesalers and house flippers scale their businesses to six figures per month and beyond. And this channel is really all about documenting the best practices that I have found in scaling my own real estate company from ground zero to multiple seven figures, and helping dozens of real estate investors around the country scale their businesses to seven figures as well. So like I said, in this video, I want to talk about who the first person you should bring onto your company is, when you should hire them, how much you should pay them, and what position that's going to be for you. And before I dive into exactly who you should hire, I'm going to tell the story of who the first person I hired was and why I brought on this person first in my company. And so when I first started my company, in the very beginning, from ground zero, I was doing all of the work myself. Like most of you probably are. You're probably doing all of the work yourself if you don't have any team members currently on your team. So it's a very natural place to start. But when I first started, I was putting out bandit signs, I was doing cold calling, I was driving for dollars, and I was doing some very, very low budget PPC campaigns, and I was doing all of the work by myself. Naturally, this is not very scalable, and so, but these channels, these strategies allowed me to get my first couple of deals under my belt. And so my first three deals, I ended up closing over $35,000 on those wholesale deals. And after I closed those deals, I started to dive into a different marketing channel, and I started to dive into direct mail. I started to do more direct mail campaigns. Now this was in 2018, and at that time, direct mail worked extremely well, and I was getting more phone calls than I could handle. And so because I was still doing acquisitions, I was driving all over town, going to acquisition appointments, viewing houses, and trying to answer these phone calls and trying to put notes into the CRM. For me, the first person that I chose to hire was a lead manager. I chose to bring on somebody who could answer those phone calls live that were coming in from the direct mail campaigns and take notes on the lead, and then schedule an appointment for me to go view the house and make an offer to the seller. And so the reason why I chose this person is because when I was looking at the time that I was spending answering phones, it was requiring a lot of time that I could be devoting to other responsibilities in the business that could drive more revenue for the company. And so I looked at all of the responsibilities that I was doing and determined that this was one of the lowest dollar per hour responsibilities that I was committing my time to at that point in time. And so I decided to bring on a lead manager. Their responsibilities were answering all of the phone calls live, putting notes into the CRM, scheduling appointments for me, and then doing all of the follow-up on leads that we had not had appointments scheduled for. And so this one person alleviated so much time for me. And what they allowed me to do was just focus on closing more deals with sellers. So now I had leads coming into my business and appointments being scheduled for me without me having to do the work. I wasn't having to drive around and do putting out bandit signs. I wasn't having to take the incoming phone calls. I could just go focus on closing more deals. And that's exactly what ended up happening. It allowed me to go put more properties under contract And that in turn led to more closed deals and allowed me to build out my team even further and replace myself even more in the company. And it all started with replacing myself in that lead manager role because I was able to get marketing leverage to where it didn't require my time. And now I was able to get a lead manager in place to where the appointment setting was leveraged as well. And so that was the first person that I ended up hiring. And for the lead manager position, I recommend to pay a base salary, either hourly or you can pay them a base. And what I ended up paying was, I believe it was $1,600 a month for the first lead manager that I hired. It's like $1,600 a month plus a $150 bonus whenever a deal closed. Now, I'm not giving you financial advice for your business. That's just what I paid my lead manager when I first brought the lead manager on. I wanted to pay a base salary, plus I wanted to pay a performance bonus whenever one of the deals closed that they set, because I want to incentivize them going and setting more appointments for me so that they have a higher chance of getting more income with more appointments they end up scheduling for me. And so that was the first person that I brought on. Now, for you, depends on the situation that you are in. If you are doing outbound marketing channels, meaning you are doing SMS right now, you are doing cold calling, you are doing outbound channels where you're reaching out to homeowners directly, I would recommend that the first position that you hire is a SMS agent or a cold calling agent. And the reason why is because those activities are very time consuming and you can replace yourself in those activities for really, really cheap. So you can pay somebody between $5 and $8 per hour to replace yourself on the texting or the cold calling, and that will free up your time to go focus on booking more appointments, getting more deals under contract. So that's the first person that I would hire if you were actually doing the SMS and cold calling yourself right now, because you have to create more leverage in the company and you have to leverage your time. You only have 24 hours in the day, and the more hours that you're spending typing on the computer texting or on the dial or cold calling, the more time that takes away from you going out and closing more deals. So that's the first person that I would hire if you were the one doing cold calling and texting at the moment. Now, if you are utilizing other marketing channels like PPC, direct mail, radio advertising, basically channels that are inbound channels that leads are coming to you, then I would hire a lead manager first, because if you have leads coming inbound to you, whether it's PPC, PPL, SEO campaigns, direct mail, radio advertising, and if you have those channels that are bringing in those inbound leads, you need somebody like I was in the same position where I needed somebody to answer those phone calls or handle those incoming leads and handle that part of the business where they were able to take those incoming leads and book appointments for me to where I could just focus on doing more acquisitions and getting more contracts. And so if you have inbound marketing channels that you're doing right now, I would recommend that your first position be a lead manager, somebody who is responsible for all of the incoming leads, taking those leads, qualifying those leads, and then scheduling an appointment for you to go out and sign more seller contracts and free up your time to where you're not having to do the qualifying of the leads or putting in notes in the CRM, which nobody likes doing. So now if you were doing SMS and cold calling, I recommend that your second position that you hire be a lead manager, because you want to get out of the appointment setting. That's just going to free up so much of your time and allow you to just go focus on getting more contracts. So guys, that's the first position that I would recommend you hire in your real estate wholesaling or flipping company, because it's going to free up so much of your time and it's going to allow you to go get more contracts, which is going to drive more revenue in the company. It is well worth what you're going to pay that person. I promise you're going to make your return on investment, because if that lead manager is able to even just follow up with the leads that are in your CRM, you're going to get more deals just from the follow-up that they are able to do, because you don't have the time to do it. So that's all I have for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content in this video and you want to see more videos from me, I'm putting out 3 videos per week right now. Click the like button, click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos. And if you're looking for help scaling up your real estate company to 6 figures per month and beyond, you can click the link in the description down below. I'll be posting a link where you can visit our site and apply for coaching with us, or you can go to reigamechangers.com. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you soon.